Hi everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and I'm here to discuss what's going on astrologically. If I get a little tongue-tied in how I present everything going on, I think it's, because like the rest of you, I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety and we're all going through a very turbulent time on the collective. So I'm going to try to bring this together as well as I can. So to begin with Saturn, which is the planet of karma, responsibility, and how we structure our goals, among other things, just recently entered the sign of Aquarius, where it will transit through July 2nd of this year. And Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, and it's the modern ruler of Capricorn. And Saturn in Aquarius is giving us a preview of where it will be beginning on December 17th of this year for the next few years. And Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and wisdom and abundance, is also going to enter the sign of Aquarius on December 20th. And the two of them will set the tone for 2021. And I think that's going to be much more about futuristic thinking and about new ways of innovating and brilliance, but also how we connect and how we teach ourselves and teach others. And I thought of Marshall McLuhan earlier today. I was thinking he must have either been an Aquarius or had strong Uranus in his chart. And sure enough, he had an exact Sun-Uranus opposition, which means he was a very Uranian type. He was a Canadian philosopher who was a visionary and who focused on the media. And at that time, it was television and radio. And he coined the term the global village in 1960, which happened to be the last one of the Saturn Jupiter conjunctions, because that happens every 20 years. But he basically discussed how electronic media can affect the is an extension of our central nervous system, how it affects the brain, how in a sense the medium is more important than the message, in the sense that how we convey the message. In this case, at that time, it was television and radio. In current times, it's obviously the internet and social media was more relevant or important than the message in and of itself. And in 1964, he wrote a book called The Media is the Message. And it actually came out, The Media is the Massage, because there was a problem with the typeset. And he liked that idea because the media affects the brain so much and in how we receive information and how we process it. And, I think that as time has evolved and now that we're in the digital age, we see that with technology, it impacts the brain in terms of diminishing memory and people's attention span. People now, instead of talking through actual words, are communicating through emoji and really ridiculous ways, actually. It also speaks to the fact that we actually are very disconnected in a sense. I think we're kind of seeing that more and more. I think many of us have been aware of that for a while, but it's also about the fact that maybe with Saturn in Aquarius, because that's where we're being challenged and where we're getting karmic lessons and the way we can restructure what we want to accomplish, that maybe we are re-examining the fact that the message is important and re-examining the message rather than the medium. And I think that this is a very significant time because Uranus in astrology rules the internet, it rules social media, it rules television and radio and technology, and it rules the nervous system. So I bet you Marshall McLuhan, had he chosen to be, would have been an excellent astrologer. But nonetheless, I think that this is also enabling all of us to figure out how we want to innovate our vision, how we need to segue into a new era with Saturn ultimately entering Aquarius at the end of this year for the next few years. We're seeing right now with the Saturn-Pluto pairing that happened in January, a death and rebirth of a mass level, a collapse of old structures, and a renovation of how we do business. And we still have a lot of cardinal energy in very difficult times that will get us through, I think, and help us to at least, take care of business. And I think that with Saturn and Aquarius, it really is helpful because it's in its rulership. It's not as heavy. and it's very, very brilliant and innovative. And I have a feeling with Saturn and Aquarius, somebody mentioned there'll probably be some young genius that innovates something really amazing. And I bet that's true. Probably a few, but something of meaning, hopefully, and something that helps to raise our society and our raise the bar. I think we need that in a big way. So the week ahead, we have Saturn now is recently in Aquarius. Tomorrow on March 30th, Mars, the planet of action and how we get things accomplished, is entering Aquarius, where it will be until May 12th. And again, that can be Mars is, Uranus rules Aquarius. It can be very rebellious. It can be disruptive. So people could be acting in a very independent way, good for getting things done and good for innovative action, but could also be a bit, obstreperous. And Saturn and Mars are meeting up in the sky on Tuesday, March 31st. And that's going to be, we're feeling that build up now. And that feels, restricted. It can feel like inverted anger. It feels like there's no release of the anger. And so finding ways to handle that. It is a good aspect for laborious work and for getting tasks, things done. So try to focus in that way, but it's not the easiest of aspects, and it's frustrating. On April 3rd, Venus is changing signs and, entering the sign of Gemini, where it will be through August 8th. It's going to retrograde later in the spring from May 20, actually in the summer, May 25th until, no, spring, May 25th until May 13th until June 25th. And Venus retrograde is not the greatest time to get things done, new things. So recognize it's going to be in Gemini for quite a while, but it's fun in Gemini. It's a little bit more lighthearted. It's beautiful in Taurus where it is right now, but it is, convivial and social in the sign of Gemini, although, a lot of us will have to do that in a remote way right now. And then we have a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which takes place on April 4th. And that's a cycle that happens once every 12 years. Really a very productive cycle. It's very good for achieving a lot through business, for financial partnerships, for great success with financial endeavors. But in this case, it will set off the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that began the year, which has us on a mass level really, totally reconstructing the way we do business, permanent changes, and with the economy, big shifts and such. So I think that this will probably expand stuff, and maybe even with the virus, things might get a little more, we'll have more information about what's happening. But I think to know that that is a very strong aspect for getting things accomplished. So you still have a lot of cardinal energy to do things. But, Saturn meeting up with Mars is not the easiest. Mars is also going to square Uranus on the upcoming full moon in Libra on April 7th. That's going to be an exact square. That's a challenging influence next week. So there is volatility still in the air. That's definitely true, but tap into the brilliance of Saturn in Aquarius and figure out how you can make the medium, the message in the medium more important and significant in your own unique way with Saturn entering Aquarius. And I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you.